Kim, good to be with you. Every week we talk about retirement, what's important, what's going on. We're fourth quarter, election coming, all the good stuff, or maybe not so good stuff. Again, great to be with you once again.
Oh, it's great to be with you. I have looked forward to this all week because you guys came forward, I don't know, about a week and a half ago and said, hey, I think we'd like to do a special Haven show. And we'd like to bring in a very special guest, and that we have. And I think our listeners are really, really going to enjoy what we have for them today. Today, it's the story of Haven Financial. And Larry, why don't you introduce who's with us today?
Sounds good, Kim. I know a little bit about her. She is the office manager, but more importantly, she's my wife of 28 years. We have 4 daughters together, but Rachelle Kallevig is with us, who's really the people person, I would say, in the office. Many would attest they come to see her, not necessarily me or any of the other staff. But at the end of the day, it's great to have her with. Maybe a little nervous, Kim, just to give it away, just because she's not been on. But I think you and the listeners will find she has a gift of discussing things and talking, and she loves people, which is very evident in the workplace.
Well, Rachelle, welcome. I'm so glad that you're with us today. I so enjoy your husband for 1 hour a week, and I know that this is going to be a real treat to get a chance to get to know you as well. So I'm going to start with my very first question to Rachelle, and that is, where did you guys meet? You've been married 28 years. I'll bet you knew one another a little before then. So give me a sense of this relationship.
Oh, wow. We met 31 years ago, and I was out with some friends, socializing, and a group of friends. I worked at Planet Hollywood, so I've served and been in customer service my whole life. And I was out with one group of friends, and I ran into another group of friends that said, hey, there is a guy that we really want you to meet. He's the captain of the Bethel golf team, a strong Christian guy. I think you would just absolutely connect well. And I said, oh, thank you, but I'm not interested. But by the end of the night, he walked over and he said to me, he said, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm a poor college student. I think I have 28 cents to my name, but you kind of look like high maintenance, but I would love to get to know you.
And the rest is history. There you have it.
The rest is history. I love the transparency and someone that just speaks from the heart and truthful.
And I can attest, that is a true story, Kim, 100%. And I'm not sure I had 28 cents. It might have been 10 cents.
But these are the great moments that first off, you can tell all your daughters. And I know they know that story. Now you're telling your listeners, believe it or not. But what's great about it is just what you just said, Rachelle. What we see from Larry is absolutely transparency, and a warmth about him. And I'm sure that has played a big part in the Haven story. So you guys obviously started to date, and eventually you decided this was a lifetime thing and you got married. Then you started to have those babies. Tell us a little bit about those young ladies.
Well, I was 23 when we got married, and we wanted to wait a few years. We wanted to kind of do things that we knew that once we had children, we wouldn't be able to do. So we wanted to travel and enjoy each other before we brought other people into the world. So we waited a few years, and both of our grandparents were strong praying grandmothers. And they were writing each other, and we had no idea, but they were praying behind the scenes because they were worried because it had been several years and we hadn't had any children and weren't talking about it. So these grandmothers were plotting behind the scenes, worried that we hadn't started having kids yet. But we kind of had planned that way. Larry's always been a planner, and myself. And so we had our first child when I was 27, and that was Paris.
Yeah. And 3 cents.
And yep. And then our next set was twins. That was a whole nother story. And that was a blessing. We were so excited because when we first started dating, I said, I just want to let you know that one day I would love to have twins. And matter of fact, I think I said I'm going to have twins, which was just one of those things I always believed would happen. And he thought I was a little bit crazy for saying one day I would have twins, because you don't just say that. And our first was a singleton, right? Our daughter, Paris. And so then our next pregnancy was twins, and it was a heart's desire since I was a little girl. And so we were just both very excited. And then after the 3, the real story is we were completely done. And he said, I just want to let you know that I have scheduled the appointment. And I said, I know you're done and I'm done. And we have no desire to have any more. But you know what? I wonder if God's plan is if we're done, right? So we postponed the appointment with Larry. And we took that week to really just make sure that we partnered not only with ourselves, but the Lord, and started praying about if that was his desire that we have 3, or if there was any more in our future. And we're so glad we did that, because we knew fairly after, without a doubt, both of us had confirmation that he had one more for us, and that's Monet. And boy, did she complete our family. And we can't imagine if we didn't listen to that plan and include her in our family plan.
And if I may add, Kim, because I think it's important that I do, is when she said she was going to have twins, she said, I'm going to have twins, because that's the way she talks. And I went in one ear, out the other ear, and I'm like, not a chance. We don't have any twins in our family. Are you kidding me? And I remember vividly, because she's a great cook and I love breakfast, for a time frame there, she would make eggs, because I like eggs. And there would be twin yolks several times. And I don't know if we've ever had a twin yolk since. And after that, it was like unbelievable. Yeah. We had twins. There's more to the story. And yeah, we gave all our girls' clothes away. And then we felt like we're supposed to have one more. Wouldn't change it for the world. But yes, that's how we got 4.
Well, that's fantastic. What a great story. So let's back up just a bit now. During the course of this, Larry, I know that you went to work in this profession, not with Haven. There was no Haven at that point. You were working elsewhere.
Yeah, that is correct. I worked with a captive company in St. Louis Park. It's there where I started learning about retirement advising. We had background in business ownership and other things, so I was always been in business. But then I kind of made a detour back 25 whatever years ago. Started with a captive, learning a new industry, retirement advising, all of these different areas. And it was great. Fancy building, glass building, waterfall, real fancy dancy. Captive, big company. And for a while, great place to learn, but it was very evident after a period of time that are our clients really just a number? Why is upper management changing things that we're building out? And it didn't take me long to figure out that it wasn't necessarily the right thing to do in all cases for the client. It was made oftentimes, not always, about the pocketbook, about money, and that was the big thing that didn't sit well with me, and I was not going to change it. Stayed there, not probably. I resist change very much, and she would attest.
Yes.
And we started Haven Financial Group. I knew I wasn't going to change it, so the only way to do it is start a different company, which Haven started, I believe, nine and a half years ago. And we are where we're at today, where we could put, and it took time, man, did it take time, multiple personalities in all the different retirement areas that you and I talk about on a weekly basis, where people could come to us, not that they have to do everything under the same roof, but there's resources under the same roof. And that is the biggest compliment we get. And today, again, we've expanded 3 times in 9.5 years. We're very blessed and fortunate, but comes with hard work. But that was kind of the story behind the story of where Haven started.
Well, I have to tell you, I love that story, and I want to tell you why, because it proves to our listeners what I have come to know about you, Larry, over, just having a personal relationship. And that is that you're not, you've been very honest. Listen, I have to work and we have to get paid for this, but we're in this for another reason. We're in this to make sure that people are knowledgeable about the next phase in their life and that it's the best that it can possibly be. And you've just verified that with the idea that maybe corporate America wasn't exactly what was great for you, because let's face it, corporate America isn't always looking out for the little guy or anybody for that matter.
That is completely true. And as we grow, the number one goal, and it's very, very important, and anybody can say it, is we want to make people feel that they're invited here, that they feel comfortable. If we're never going to take it away, but if we ever took away that one-on-one, hey, we feel like we're okay to spend time with you. We don't want to rush things. We're not too busy. You get 15 minutes to a half hour. No. We like to err on plenty of time. We don't want to rush anybody because this is literally retirement that people have been planning for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Why rush something now when it's so important going into these retirement years?
Absolutely. People have to feel comfortable too. If they're not comfortable, then they're in the wrong place.
Exactly.
So listen, we want to talk about, you've led us right perfectly into the mission of Haven Financial. And we're going to talk about that on the other side of the break. But before we go to this break, we want to remind everybody how they can get hold of you and Rachelle and the rest of the team there at Haven Financial. It's 612-504-8400. Let me give you that number again. It's 612-504-8400. You can also reach out, havenfinancialgroup.com. When we come back, Larry and Rachelle are going to talk to us about their mission when it comes to Haven Financial Group and how all of this wonderful company got started.